All right, guys, this is Alex at Kraken BJJ. I'm here to talk to you about Juji Gatame. It's also known as the armbar. We're going to look at it from top position, which is also sometimes called the spider web. Okay. In this first example, I've got my partner in side control. He's kind of turned away from me, and I get a figure four Kimura grip on that top side arm. Okay. I'm going to take my north side foot and I'm going to step over the top of his head. I'm going to come up onto my south side foot as well. My hips are right underneath his shoulders and I'm going to sit back. Okay, it's helpful to know the escape options that your opponent has. Here we're looking at a stacking escape where I'm coming up on top. I'm using my knee to pry my elbow out and maybe score a pass. I could also initiate a rolling escape like the hitchhiker escape here, which typically involves me separating my hands. I've also got escapes where I could get my knees on the inside of his legs, separate his knees, pull my elbow free from his hip line, and look to pass here too. All right, let's look at that entry again. I've got my figure four grip. I come up onto my north side foot. I step up onto my south side foot. My hips are behind his shoulder, and I sit back into what's known as 1/4 Juji. Okay, that's a really fast entry, but I don't have control over his body. So I lean to the north side, flare my foot over his body, and here I am in full Juji. We've got two variations that we're going to look at, okay? Both involve me crossing my feet, one on the inside of his elbows. I could use a kipping motion to separate S grips from here. I could also cross my feet underneath his shoulder. I'm going to put my hands on the mat, scoop my butt in, and that creates a really tight control even without hands. If I thread my south side foot through his arms, here I'm playing 3/4 Juji, where I'm really playing off this triangle dilemma. If he stacks, he's coming right into a triangle. If he lifts his head suddenly, I can put both feet on the back of his head for pillow Juji. If I take my north side foot and cover there, I've got scissor Juji. This stops rolling, stacking, and turning escapes. If I separate the hands and he starts to initiate a rolling escape, I might go shoulder sankaku on the top side or shoulder sankaku on the bottom side. He's got a couple basic grips he could use here. The S grip, the gable grip, wrist to wrist. In the gi, he can grab his collar. He can grab the hamstring. Or for a robust grip, he could use a full figure four. Looks like a rear naked choke grip with my hand underneath his hamstring. Bottom side post hands are good at stopping stacking, and top side post hands are good at stopping rolling escapes. Switching arms needs to be done intelligently, so I'm going to connect my fingers and I'm going to pull my other arm through, and now I have access to a new post side. If I really want to secure his arm, I can grab my own gi. When it comes to separating hands, it's smart to pull that hand away from his grip. So I'm going to pull his elbow to the opposite side hip. I'm going to get an elbow grip deep on his wrist, connect his forearm to my body, and use my whole core to generate torque. Sit back for a tight armbar. If he switches his grips, then I just switch. Look, I pull it to my opposite side hip, get an elbow grip deep on his wrist, and use my whole body to separate his hand. Here we're looking at braking mechanics. Okay, I want to get a bro handshake. It's like, Dylan, you son of a bitch. I want to double up on it. I want to get his knuckles onto my chest, and I want to break his arm over my south side hip. Okay, let's look at it again. I've got the bro handshake. I use my other hand to double it up, also known as a V grip. I turn his wrist so his knuckles are attached to my chest, and I break over my south side hip. If I need more force, I can take my head and I can move it off to the north side, switch my grip, and now push with both of my hands. Hey, if this was helpful, please give it a like. Okay, later.